What's up, guys? Grant Wise here. Welcome to our next Willionaire Summit interview. I have asked the one and only, the legendary Coach Micheal Burt, what is the one thing that you would teach a real estate agent to help them sell their next $1 million? Coach, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love the concept of Willionaire. Listen, where there's no Willionaire, there's no millionaire. You understand?
My man.
My granddad, when I was growing up, was an entrepreneur that became what I call a Thomas Stanley millionaire. He wore a cheap suit, drove a cheap car, lived in a cheap house, but he became a millionaire, a single-digit millionaire. But he used to tell me where there's a will, there's always a way. And if you can find a want to, if you got a want to, you can always find a how to. And that is very simple advice, but very true advice. So I've been thinking about this question that you're asking. What's the one thing that a person can do? And I'm thinking about my top agent that I'm coaching right now is on track to do 160 transactions. He's earning about $120,000 a month in personal income. When I began coaching him, he was doing 45 transactions and never earned more than 60 to 80,000 in a one-year cycle. Now he's earning more in a month than he did in a year. And I think about, I'm conflicted because the one thing he chose was he chose to become a person of interest, which is around a book that I wrote, right? And I think that's a good strategy. How do you become known? I think that is senior to selling. Becoming known, connecting to more people. So when you're thinking about it, the person that has the most connections in the real estate game is going to win. The person that has the best intentions is going to win. The person that goes deepest with their current client base is going to win. But that's not what I'm going to tell you today. I'm going to tell you, if you said you only got one thing that you can teach a person to drive a million more dollars, it's to focus on new money every single day. Okay. And I'm telling you this because, as you know, I have the luxury of coaching people all over the country in multiple disciplines, some of the top real estate professionals in the world, some of the top mortgage professionals in the world. And I would tell you the one thing that gets lost in good economies is the lack of focus on new money every day. Okay. Now I'm going to boil that down and show you where to get that new money. But there has to be a recognition that the purpose of the business is to create a new customer. I don't care how many deals you have in the pipeline. I don't care how many deals you're doing. I don't care how many contracts you have. You can never be lulled into believing that this concept, there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer, right? I go to bed tired and I wake up hungry. At midnight, it all goes to zero. Doesn't matter how much I have in my bank account. Doesn't matter how much we're doing. Doesn't matter how much revenue we produced. In my opinion, we're broke. We're dead broke. And that is a trick I learned as a high school women's basketball coach, because we could win on Tuesday night, get lazy and comfortable, buy our own hype, right, Grant? Read the newspapers about how great we were, and then get beat on Friday night. Man, it was so irritating. And so I learned during those periods to never allow complacency to sit in me, to never allow this. Every day we got to produce new money. In the Bible, it talks about manna. God gave people just enough food to eat for the day, right? He didn't give a surplus. He gave them just enough for the day. And then the very next day they had to go get it again. I think this is something most real estate people do not do. They get caught up in servicing customers, putting contracts together, following up, doing some marketing, and they miss out on dedicated periods of generation of new money. Now, I call that the hit list, Grant. I call it the hit list. Every day you need a hit list of new money. You can get that new money from one of four places. One, current clients that you are trying to potentially second sale. Okay, I have a personal house, and then I have other real estate properties around the country, commercial real estate properties, residential real estate properties, short-term cash flowing properties, retreat sites. So to me, you could be calling me, presenting another idea to me. I'm a current client. I've done my real estate right with you, but you could be saying, hey, coach, check this out. I know you're just out in Scottsdale, Arizona. I know you loved it. Let me show you 4 properties, 4 retreat sites you could have in here, right? Like, never quit presenting ideas. And you can do that for your current customer base. Number 2, you could be asking your current clients for referrals. Hey, Grant, this is Coach Burt. If I've helped you get to a better place in life, there's probably 4 people in your network that I don't know that I need to know. Now, notice I didn't say I need to sell real estate to. Notice I didn't say, do you know anybody buying or selling real estate? Those are creepy questions. You don't need to be asking those questions. You need to be saying, you're an influential person. There's probably 4 people in your network that I don't know that I need to know. How can you introduce me to those people? All I want to do is connect with those people. I was speaking at a big real estate conference in Mexico, a real estate investing conference. And I was meeting people, and, you know, after I spoke, we're sitting out by the pool and we're having dinner, and I'm just talking to them. And I would just give them my phone, Grant, and I would say, you're a cool person. Put your name and number in my phone. I just want to connect with you. I didn't say I want to sell you anything. I didn't say I want you. Understand? I don't know if there's opportunity between you and I until we talk. So every day I come in with a list of people that I want to connect with. I call it my hit list. It's any activity that will produce new money. Any activity that will produce new money. Okay. So I can get my hit list from current clients. I can get it from past clients. If you're in a transaction-based business where you sold or represented somebody, the average referral should be worth 5.7 referrals, by the way, over the lifetime of the consumer. Number 3, I can get it from strategic partners, and too many real estate professionals do not tap into this. You should be doing events with divorce attorneys, CPAs, mortgage originators, insurance people. Listen, you should be doing just events with successful people. Just successful people, right? Just generous, anything that you can call out and invite a person to. At many of these real estate properties that I have, I use them. This weekend, I'm doing a retreat for my top paying clients down there, a 2-day retreat where I give them special information I'm not giving anybody else. I mean, if without the property, I can't push them to something. This gives me a reason to call them, invite them, push them to something in the future. And the 4th place is direct leads, ever how you generate leads. So remember, our one thing is we need to be focused on new money every day, no matter how many deals we have in the pipeline. We go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. It all goes to 0 at midnight. So how much time, the question becomes, how much time should we be spending every day on this new money? My rule is a minimum of 2 hours. We have prospecting times from 9 to 11. I gave you the list of people that we could be calling on. Okay. Current clients, past clients, people we're trying to close. Okay. Strategic partners, direct leads. And then we have call periods or new money periods between 1 and 3:30 in the afternoon. So that's what, 4.5 hours per day, roughly, that we're doing nothing but new money. And it's dedicated times during the day. We do not mix activities together. I joke and say I like Neapolitan ice cream. That's strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, but you don't mix it together. Okay. Too many real estate professionals mix their prospecting times with their servicing times, with their putting out fires times, right? Like if you're really trying to get it, purpose of your business, you're trying to get $1 million more or $10 million more. Listen, this has got to be the number one thing I think you got to do every day. Now, you can fish for bluegills or you can fish for blue marlins. Okay. I think about Seaside, Florida, where I own a 9-bedroom property. Average sale of a house in Seaside, Florida is $1.6 million. You could sell 12 houses in Seaside and make $400,000. Average sale price in Vail, Colorado, $750,000 and above. You could sell, the average agent, the top agents there sell 40 houses. That's it. Where my guy in Tennessee has got to sell 160 because the price points are different. You follow what I'm saying? So let me ask you a question. Are you fishing in the local lake for bluegill, or are you fishing in the Gulf of Mexico for blue marlins? Or are you just fishing and hoping you catch something, right? So what questions do you have about that one concept? Because out of all the concepts I could give you, I could say yes. Dig into person of interest. Become the most known person in your arena, right? That's one thing you could do. Or you could work the selling system that I'm teaching that is multifaceted, but you got to have dedicated periods every day. And too many real estate agents, too many real estate professionals, no matter what kind of real estate they're in, do not spend time working. I've worked with wholesale, flip, commercial, big REIT companies, residential real estate, short-term real estate. I mean, I've worked with all of them. Okay. The number one thing they don't do is focus on new money every day.
This is so relevant, and this is relevant to me. I was sitting down just yesterday, looking at my calendar and said, hey, look, right now there's just not enough opportunity inside of my calendar to focus on new money, to focus on revenue generating activities, and had a conversation with my assistant and said, hey, look, don't let me get booked up to where I can't focus on generating new income for 3 to 4 hours a day, at least, especially right now. And that, I think that was my next question. Is anybody immune? And I think you answered it by your, what you kind of fishtailed into, but is anybody immune to this? I mean, is Jeff Bezos focusing on new money? Like, is anybody immune to this?
Right. That's a great question. No, I don't think anybody's immune to it. Amazon's got to be selling every day. Now, they may sell differently. Don't think that I'm not getting emails all day long from Amazon trying to sell me something. Mm-hmm. Anytime I indicate interest, they may have a different sales cycle than a real estate agent does. But what was Steve Jobs' number one job when he was at Apple? Promote the products. Mm-hmm. That's selling. That's selling. Now, the way I sell, I'm not banging out 80 phone calls a day like my sales team is. Okay. Mm-hmm. I may hit red zone conversions, meaning my sales team brings me the top 5 people that are closest to making a decision. I may hit 3 to 7 people on my hit list every day. I may try to close 3 to 7 people in my farm club. I may love on 3 of my top 25s. I may do 4 events. I may do 3 podcasts. They're all selling. All of this is high value activity, right? Because mm-hmm. you're going to expose me to new audiences. This is the way of selling now. Like I was on the GOAT yesterday podcast, the greatest of all time podcast. When I was in Phoenix, I spoke to 700 people yesterday. That's prospecting.
Yeah.
That's focusing on new money. Like it's easy to believe, and I took a salesperson with me. It's easy to believe because we were there, he wasn't making phone calls, therefore he wasn't selling. No, we got in front of 700 potential suspects. Out of that, roughly 16% of those people are going to be interested. Yep. So we could make 700 phone calls yesterday. So not between the number of people we have. So to me, that's still prospecting. Okay, a real estate professional that hosts events, that puts on events, that gets in front of people, that circulates out in the world. And the best advice, the top agents I coach, they prospect in the mornings. They solve the world's problems in the afternoons. Yeah. They prospect every morning, and they're Superman in the afternoons. That's an easy strategy. Get 2 hours in of nothing but new money. In the afternoon, deal with all your real estate issues. Deal with all your current clients. Try to get as many referrals as you can. And it comes back to, would you rather have $1 billion or would you rather have 1 billion friends?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Because with 1 billion friends, you make more than $1 billion. All the money you're looking for is in the pockets of other people. You just hadn't connected to those people. Uh-huh. So there's no shortage of money. There's a shortage of courage. There's a shortage of creativity. There's a shortage of discipline. That's the only shortage there is in the world. There is sure not a shortage of people spending money or buying real estate right now.
Right. I was going to ask that question, but you answered it. Is the leader focused on those one-to-one interactions or maybe smaller opportunities, or is the leader typically focused, as a company continues to elevate and grow, is the leader typically focused on maybe higher revenue generating activities? Maybe I'm not talking to somebody about, a $50,000 property anymore. I'm talking to them about a $500,000 property while my team is focused on the $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 opportunities. And I think you answered that, and you're talking about, what kind of fish you fishing for sure. But today, if we look at the landscape, I think when we fire off the word prospecting in general, they revert back to, I got to be making cold calls. I got to knock doors. I got to send out mail. My mind goes there. But I think prospecting, and you kind of alluded to this, looks totally different today than it looked 6 months ago, than it looked 12 months ago, than it looked a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And so when you say, and you elaborated on this, but how has the social landscape changed the way that you go find new money today? Because somebody listening to this might think, well, Coach, I don't know if I want to make calls for 2 hours a day. Does it have to look that way, or can it look different?
Well, you can send videos. We cut short sizzle reel videos that we send out to people. That's a form of prospecting. Mm-hmm. Me doing webinars, or me doing tonight, I'm pre-recording a webinar that we're going to play, and we pull people in through a funnel. Those are leads. That's a form of prospecting. Mm-hmm. I still got to do the webinar. I still got to create the content. I just finished a book last night called Single Digit Millionaire on the plane ride back. We'll package that up, print them off, sell those puppies. But me sending them to people is a form of prospecting. Yeah. Like you got to get out of your brain, kind of what I alluded to a second ago. Just because I was in Phoenix yesterday speaking to 700 people and we weren't here in the office at the Greatness Factory, that didn't mean I wasn't prospecting in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was just doing it with a lot of people. And for an hour, I had 700 people to talk to. That's called a showcase in our selling system.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a real estate professional, the answer to your question is I'm doing all these things. I'm doing my own podcast like you. I'm writing books. I'm creating content. I'm doing webinars. I'm doing events. I'm speaking at things. I'm doing it all, man. I ain't doing some of it. I'm working the whole muscle, brother.
Yeah.
I'm working the whole muscle. I ain't just working some muscles. I'm working all the muscles.
And I think that there's a great distinction here, because we're not talking about, when you say I'm doing all of it, some people might say, well, just pick one thing and go all out for 2 hours or go all out for 2.5 hours. I think, we're deciding on a category of activity for the next 2 hours, and that is prospecting. That can look differently. That can look like, 4 different types of actions. I was talking to somebody the other day, I'm going to send out my happy birthdays on Facebook. I'm going to write 10 handwritten notes to my past clients or my referrals. I'm going to take different, that can look differently. The distinction, don't mix prospecting time with what you said earlier, putting out fires time, being a realtor time, because those are 2 different things. How can I sit down and say, okay, what's the best way for me to really get focused on prospecting and remove these other burden of activities that kind of come in? Because you and I both know, I sit down to record this podcast or this interview with you, man, I got 3 fires that just popped up on my phone. I got 4 people that need to get a hold of me right now, not in 30 minutes. How do I prevent some of those distractions from popping in? How do I focus on new money?
The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. See what I would tell you, there's the confusion. It's not like every company doesn't have fires to put out. We have one customer a day that acts like a complete bozo. It's just a matter of which one it's going to be today. A good person yesterday can be a complete bozo today. So somebody's going to win the bozo award. So when I come into the day, okay, so that person acted a fool. I didn't expect it. I didn't anticipate it, but I understand human nature and it's going to happen. So let's deal with it. Let's not let us distract us. I'm so glad you asked this question, because this month in my coaching program, I'm covering how to clear the mechanism. Remember the old Kevin Costner movie? I think it was For Love of the Game, that he got on right when he was on the mound and he said, clear the mechanism, and everything went away. Well, I have noticed so many distractions in people's lives. Personal life is a distraction. A new opportunity is a distraction. I'm trying to find an easy way to do something is a distraction. I don't feel like doing it is a distraction. I'm tired is a distraction. I got drama is a distraction. Like this month in my coaching program, I'm forcing people to get clear. What do you get drug into in a day that's got nothing to do with producing new money? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing what you're doing? Like, it's got nothing to do with the production of new money. The purpose of the business, let me say this again to all the people watching, is to create a new customer. That is the whole purpose of the business, is to serve customers and create customers. Everything else is low value activity. And you got to constantly have these conversations with your team every day. Like, what is the highest value of your time? What is the highest value of your time? Why are we doing this? How can we do it better? How can we do it bigger? So, it's funny that you mentioned that blue marlin versus bluegill. A real estate guy said that to me. He built a real estate company and he sold the company for $12 million at 38 years old to Reology. And he said to me, you and I are both fishing. The problem is you're fishing for bluegills in the local lake, and I'm fishing for blue marlins in the Gulf of Mexico. What he was really saying was, Coach, you're solving small problems, and because of that, you're making small money. I am building something sustainable. I'm building a central nervous system of a business. I'm solving big problems. So he grew 700 agents. He didn't even know most of those agents. Here was his rule. I own the company. I'm going to overpay people to run the company and make it profitable. They should never bother him. And then he sold it to Reology because he had 700 agents and he made his money off the title company that he owned. But his point was the blue marlin versus bluegill. Now he took the money. He does not work. He owns 4 rental properties in Seaside. He manages those properties. Plus he has some cash flowing real estate, commercial properties. And he walks around in his robe all day long with sandals on. and flip-flops and plays tennis, which I could never do, by the way. But hey, works for him, works for him. There's days that I wish I could do it. There's days I'd like to walk around in a row with sandals on and play tennis at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. But it's just not, it's, that's what he wants to do. So, and financially he can do it.
Mm-hmm. When we make these distinctions, when we create focused energy and we're really, we're dialed in, when we start removing some of I call it a burden. I don't think that's the right word, but when we start removing some of the focus from other things, say I got contracts, I got inspections, I got appraisals, I got all these other activities that are required to run a real estate company. When I finally put the right systems and processes in place and I fire myself from those activities, why am I doing that? Am I freeing up my time to do more of what's bringing me my greatest result, my highest, value time activities? Or am I doing that so that I don't have to do anything and I'm going to go sit in a robe and play tennis and whatever? I guess my question is more specifically, like I'm not creating more time to do nothing. Am I? Am I creating more time to go out and create more opportunity?
I think it's up to you. I think if you own the business, the purpose of owning the business is to generate enough cash to buy freedom, which means you get to do whatever you want to. You may choose to work. You may not choose to work. Like I have a lot of friends that own the business and their belief is I own the business. I pay other people to make the business profitable. I don't have to get involved in the weeds of the business. Many people like me have been involved in the weeds of the business for a decade. Like I've been speaking for 17 years. I've been building a coaching business for 17 years. Okay. So I don't have a desire to do some of the things I used to do. Right. I want to do what I want to do. I want to come in and coach. I want to come in and be impactful. I want to promote. I want to create. I want to write the books and speak on the stages. And a lot of people think the speaking business is a very bad business model. And I don't disagree with that, but I enjoy the energy. It's still something I enjoy. So as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to keep doing it. I enjoy these 2-day events that I do where I'm breaking down a concept at a real estate property I own. You follow what I'm saying? Like that excites me. I own the property. I control the property. I control the content. I'm doing it with people who are paying good money to be there. So to me, that's fun, man. I'm fortunate. I'm lucky that I get paid to do what I love doing every day. But if you came back and talked to me at 60 years old, I may say, look, I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. What I want to do, I want to write books. I want to write them from Florida. I want to walk around in my, sandals and a robe and write great books that sell. And I want somebody else to sell them. Mm-hmm. All I want to do is write the book. I don't know that there's different life cycles of a business. Where I am today is different than where I was at 33. Where I'll be at 53 is different, right? Like I'm in a season of trying to build a national and international coaching company. Okay. And I'm pretty much willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to go anywhere. I'm willing to do anything. My team will tell you, we pride ourselves on being the hardest working person in this business, not because I'm bragging, just because that's who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm that serious about helping a lot of people. Okay. That's what drives me. It's what motivates me. So, I think you got to make up your mind as the business owner. What do you want to do? The real estate agent, I said, that's doing 160 deals. All he wants to do is promote. He don't want to negotiate every day. He's got people on his team that negotiate. He don't want to find properties for people. He wants to get on Facebook and do shows and do events and like he's doing a big Thanksgiving party, promote his Thanksgiving party. He don't want to sell real estate, man. Real estate's just the byproduct. He just wants to be a person of interest. Mm-hmm. Real estate is giving him the ability to make $100,000 a month though. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is you got to decide as the business owner how you want the business to function. The business works for me. I don't work for it. I tell it what to do. It don't tell me what to do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I think it has a lot to do with the structure of a business.
How important would you say it is to connect these two things? If we're talking about new money and we're talking about why we do what we do and what we really want out of this, how important is that connection moving forward? If I wake up every day and I go to work, how important is that?
I'm going to say something I think could be controversial, but I'm going to say it. I don't think a person has to find their purpose to do something big in the world. I know there's a big movement, find your why. Simon Sinek is a genius. I think he's come up with an incredible concept of that sells a lot of books, but I would tell you there's days I don't know my purpose. I just know that I love pursuing something. I know that I've activated my prey drive. I know that I'm interested in my potential. I know that I get up and work the muscle every day, even when I don't feel like it. Okay. Now, here's my theory. I think you find your why while in pursuit of something. Like you don't find it, it finds you. Like you pursue something, you activate the prey drive, which is an instinctual ability to see something and go get it. Right. And in the process of pushing towards something big, you go, man, I love this.
Yeah, I know
like,
why I'm doing
this is my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you sit around and meditate and your purpose, you know, you've got to find your purpose and then it activates your drive and then you go do something big. I think we have misled people there. I don't care why you do what you do every day, just to be honest with you. But I care that you do it. And I think in the pursuit of doing it, you're going to figure out, this is really my purpose, man. This can be the distribution channel for my talents in the world. This vehicle, real estate, I love real estate because I love how it makes me feel. I love the aesthetic beauty of real estate. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was at a house the other night in Scottsdale, had to be a $3 or $4 million house. I was having dinner with the guy. Man, it was just cool. The outdoor area was cool. I love the way good real estate brings an energy about it. Mm-hmm. So to me, just a structure. It's just a structure. Now, what you add to the structure is where something magical can take place, right? So I use real estate to create structures of exchange where people can exchange time, energy, money, resource, ideas with each other. That's how I use real estate to produce more money. So I take money from my coaching business and I go and buy real estate that makes me happy, man. That makes me and my wife happy. That, like the lodge I own in Tennessee, the 9-bedroom house in Florida, the place in Nashville we just purchased, the aesthetic beauty of the greatness factory that I'm at. You know, so I believe fully in real estate, and I believe it can be used to generate serious wealth.
And you believe that new money better have an appointment on your calendar every single day. Nobody's immune.
Nobody. Go to bed. Just don't violate this principle. Go to bed tired, wake up hungry.
Yeah, I love that.
There comes a time when winter, ask what you did all spring and summer. Mm. Okay, winter's coming, whether you're ready for it or not. Okay, now you can be lulled into believing I'm good. I don't have time to get any new money. I'm so busy servicing my current customer. I'm not saying that's not true. Like we have a lot of customers we have to service every day, but it does not excuse the reality of the purpose of the business. Don't be confused. And confusion is randomness in motion. It is a problem that appears to have no solution to it.
Yeah, and I think more real estate agents need to hear that you should build a team around the mundane act of doing business. You should not remove yourself from focusing on new business. It's such an important part. I'm not immune. I know for a fact, whether I'm focusing on higher level activities, whatever that might look like. Bezos isn't immune. Jobs wasn't immune. Sam Walton wasn't immune. None of these great business icons were immune to the fact that it might look different than it looks for us, but they're focused on new money, new opportunities. Coach Micheal Burt, I appreciate you so much for talking to us today about focusing on new money. That was an invaluable presentation. I really appreciate you doing that.
Hey, there ain't no millionaire if there ain't a willionaire.
Yeah, there we go. Love it. I love it. Thank you, brother. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this session. We've got the next interview coming right up. Here we go.